Welcome to Uniquely Female Troubles. My name is Leslie Wells. Today I want to talk about something that I heard on another YouTube channel. That channel is called Life Take Two. And the host of that channel, the creator of it, is named Jenny. And she is an ex-Mormon or ex-LDS. They don't like to be called Mormon anymore because of their current prophet has said that they should not go by that name anymore. But anyway, so she she was basically kind of bamboozled into marrying her husband. And she talks about that on her channel. It's very interesting. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about that, but I highly recommend her channel. And I'm going to put a link to her channel in the description. And I'm also going to put a link to the specific video I'm talking about in the description. And, but what happened to her is she married this guy and he made a lot of money and they had kids. I'm not sure how many. And then he left her. I don't know if he left her or he treated her so bad that she finally left him. But he didn't take financial responsibility for his family, and they actually ended up homeless. And his kids were living in a car with their mom. And it's like, whatever. He didn't give them the money to live on. And like she had devoted over 20 years of her life to supporting him and his career. And I don't think she went to college. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, she ended up in that situation. And that's why she calls her channel Life Take Two. Because this is her kind of the take two, the next, phase of her life, which I really admire her. She's a very strong woman. And she said something that I heard last week. And ever since I heard it, I have not been able to stop thinking about it. And what she said is that a lot of men want a mommy with benefits. Think about that. A mommy with benefits. And she is so right. I'm not talking about mature men. I'm not talking about psychologically healthy men. And I'm not saying they don't exist. Hopefully they're in the majority. But there are way too many men who want their wife to be a mommy with benefits. So what's a mommy with benefits? I mean, obviously, we know what the benefits are. And just like a friend with benefits. But how do you be a mommy with what's a mommy? What does a mommy do for a baby? So a mommy takes care of all their baby's needs, every one of them. You keep them clean, you keep them fed, you keep them clothed, you keep them in a safe place that's not too hot or not too cold. I mean, you try to anticipate every need they have to take the best care you can possibly take of your baby. Because if you're a mommy, that means you have a baby. Another thing you do for a baby when you're a mommy is you give them unconditional love. Like they might scream all night long and make it where you feel like you're going crazy and you can't go to sleep and you're trying to do everything you can to get them to stop crying and screaming and they won't. Well, you don't get mad at that baby. You don't love them any less because they're just a baby being a baby. And they have absolutely no way, their brain isn't developed in such a way that they have any conception at all of how anything they do affects other people. I mean, I've read and heard that a baby is alive a few months, I'm not sure how long, before they even figure out that their mom is a separate person than them. I don't know for sure that's true, but I've heard that many, many times. So they don't even know that their care is coming from something separate than them. They have no conception of that. Their brains aren't developed enough. So you can't, like, I never got mad at my baby, even though it was very frustrating sometimes because she wouldn't stop crying. But I was blessed because that didn't happen very often. And also she slept a lot. And so that made it a lot better on me. But, so, do adults get unconditional love? And I'm talking about a cognitively normal and psychologically normal, basically a normal person. I'm not talking about somebody that has like developmental delays, because if you're, or somebody, even somebody that's very sick, you know, they might do something to you that really hurts you, but without any kind of malice, and not just malice, but neglect. So somebody might have no intention of actually hurting you or me. The person might have no intention of hurting me, but if they hurt me in the pursuit of getting their own needs met, and they're an adult and they're normal, then that is something that is going to affect how I feel about that person. There's no such thing as unconditional love for adults that are developmentally normal. That's my opinion. If you guys have another opinion, I would like to hear it. But I was told that he wanted unconditional love from me, my ex. And I thought about that so much when he told me that. And I'm like, that's not even possible. What you do affects me. And when you hurt me without even caring, that affects how I feel about you. I don't understand how that would not be possible. Another thing we do for babies is we're available to them 24/7. Like, you don't put your baby to bed at night and say, okay, I'm off work now and I don't have to take care of this baby for the next 8 hours. That's not a thing. You know, you don't have to really take care of your baby when it's asleep, even though you check on it and check on the baby and make sure she's okay or he's okay. But you're not like on kind of active duty. But if the baby doesn't go to sleep, then you just take care of it until. But why do you have to do that for another adult? Why? You shouldn't have to. So, a mommy takes care of all their baby's needs. A mommy anticipates the baby's needs. A mommy gives the baby unconditional love. And a mommy is available 24/7. Is that something that is reasonable to expect from a partner? For one adult to expect from another partner? Now, as far as the 24/7 thing and taking care of their needs if they're sick, that's one thing. I'm talking about normal, just times. I'm not talking about like extreme things that are going on. I say no. I say that's ridiculous. But there are a lot of guys who are so immature that they want that from their wives. They want their wives to be a surrogate mommy. And I'm using the word mommy on purpose because it's not a mother they want. It's a mommy they want. But they also want to have sex with us. That's just gross when you think about it. We're the mommy. But yet we're also the partner in the intimate department. Yeah, that is not, those two things don't go together. They're very antithetical to each other. But then also, a lot of these guys who are so immature, they want to be the boss of the house. And they're often taught, through Christian patriarchy or just patriarchal values that aren't even connected to Christianity, that they are the boss, they're the head of the household, they deserve respect. And yeah, both people in the marriage deserve respect. Yes. But it's not a one-way street. It's not like the wife respects the husband, but the husband doesn't respect the wife. That's not okay. That's not acceptable. But sometimes that's the way it is. So they want to be the head of the household. Well, who's the boss? You or your baby when you're a mommy? You are. You're in charge of everything. You make every single decision there is to make. The baby doesn't tell you, I don't want to breastfeed, I want formula, or I don't want formula, I want to breastfeed. I mean, you make those decisions. They don't tell you, I don't want to wear cloth diapers, I want to wear disposable diapers. I mean, they're not even capable of expressing themselves. That's ridiculous. It's silly. So how can you be a mommy but give the benefit they want, but also then be your boss? Do you just become a slave? That's the way I think of it. I want to help meet my partner's needs, and I want them to help meet my needs. But I'm not 100% in charge of all their needs. No person can meet all the needs of another adult. That's just not possible. And when they don't even want to take care of themselves, they want you to do everything for them, then that is like wanting a mommy with benefits. And it's messed up. I don't see how anybody who has to try to fill the role of a mommy with benefits can be happy. And what do babies do when they don't get their way? Once they get a certain age, I'm not talking about infants or even, I guess toddlers do this. What do they do when they don't get their way? They have a temper tantrum. And have you ever seen a grown man have a temper tantrum? I have. It's not pretty. They get a temper tantrum because they don't get what they want. And a lot of times the thing they want the most is the benefit that mommies are not actually supposed to give. So they're putting us in a totally impossible position of being the mommy, meeting all the needs, including sex, but yet they want to be the boss. That's just not tenable. And one thing that's pretty interesting is the show Dr. Phil, him. A lot of times he'll be talking to a couple that has a very parental relationship. One of them is like the parent of the other, and they're always bossing them around and stuff. And one thing he always says, "How's your sex life?" And usually it's terrible. And he's like, "Yeah, because who wants to get in bed with daddy? Who wants to get in bed with mommy?" And the implication when he asked that, hypothetical question is nobody. But yet, these immature guys who will not even take responsibility for their own selves, much less anybody else, they want a mommy that they have sex with and that they also boss around. Well, that is impossible, an impossible way to live. It really is. And ever since she said that, I have not been able to think about it. And I highly recommend the channel Life Take Two with Jenny. And like I said, I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, that's messed up. And I'm so glad she said that. I have never heard anybody else say that before. But I want that. I want that to be universally known that that's what some guys want. Because, and I'm not saying that no women don't want a daddy with benefits. I'm sure there are women that want a daddy with benefits. They want their husband to do everything for them, take care of their every need, not take any responsibility, but also be a sexual partner. That's just not, it's not okay to put another person in that position and expect that of somebody and get mad at them if they don't do it. Because you're expecting something that's impossible. And you're also expecting, if you try to fill that role, you're hurting yourself psychologically. That is definitely the case. Because I tried to fill that role without even hearing the phrase mommy with benefits. I was definitely put in that position. It's just not tenable. It's not livable. It's not doable. I mean, you can force yourself to do it and be absolutely miserable like I was. But it's not anything that is part of a healthy relationship or a healthy life. So I would love to hear what you guys think of it. Have you ever heard that phrase before, mommy with benefits? What do you think of it? Do you agree that some guys want that? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And thanks for watching. Please give me a like, subscribe to my channel. Please leave me a comment. Let's turn this from a monologue to a dialogue. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Bye.